Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to Polyglot Nook. I am so happy you decided to spend this time with me today. Sit down, relax, and let's talk together about something very important. We are going to talk about how to really understand your true language level, how to see your weak spots, and what steps you can take to grow stronger in speaking. Many people write to me and say, I read books in English. I watch movies. I understand a lot. But when I open my mouth, the words disappear. Does that sound familiar to you? I think for many of us, it does. Let me tell you about Mike. Mike is one of my friends who started learning English when he was already 30 years old. He was a good student. He read novels, he watched American TV shows, and he felt proud of himself. But the first time he had to talk to a real person, he froze. He could not find the words. He told me later, I thought my level was high, but that day I understood the truth. Reading and watching are not enough to define your level. They are beautiful tools, yes, but they don't measure your speaking ability. Your brain can recognize words passively, but speaking is active. Speaking is a skill you must train, just like running or swimming. Now, you may ask me, how can I know my real level then? The answer is simple, but maybe a little scary. You need to speak out loud. You need to record yourself. Take your phone, open the recorder, and speak for 5 minutes in the language you are learning. Choose a topic you know well, your work, your family, your favorite food. Just speak. Don't stop. Don't worry about mistakes. Then listen to your own recording. When you listen, something magical happens. You start to hear your weak spots. Maybe you repeat the same word again and again. Maybe you stop every 2 seconds because you don't know the next phrase. Maybe your pronunciation is not clear. That recording becomes your mirror. It shows you exactly where you need to improve. I remember Sofia, a young woman from Italy. She studied Russian for 2 years, and she thought she was doing well. When I suggested she record herself, she was nervous, but she agreed. After listening to her own recording, she said, "Oh my God, I did not know I sounded like that." But instead of feeling sad, she used that information as motivation. Every week, she recorded again, and little by little, she became much more confident. You cannot improve what you don't measure. When you write your goals, when you record your speech, you bring light to the dark corners of your learning. That light helps you grow. And remember, you don't always need a teacher to see your progress. Of course, a professional teacher can give you corrections. Even a native speaker friend can help. But sometimes, just you and your phone are enough. Your ears will tell you the truth. So today, I want to encourage you. Don't be afraid of your own voice. Don't hide from your mistakes. Speak, record, listen. That simple cycle is one of the most powerful tools you can use. I remember Emma, a girl from Poland who loved American cinema. She watched every film with subtitles and understood almost everything. When I met her, she said with pride, "My English is very good because I watch movies every day." But then I asked her a simple question, "Can you tell me about your favorite film in English?" She tried, but after 2 sentences she stopped. She was searching for words, her voice was shaking, and she looked embarrassed. At that moment, she realized that comprehension is only one part of the puzzle. Don't confuse understanding with fluency. Movies can inspire you. They can give you vocabulary and culture. But they do not test your speaking. Fluency is measured by what comes out of your mouth, not just what goes into your ears. Let me ask you, how many times have you nodded when watching a film, thinking, "Yes, I understand," but later you could not use the same words in your own sentence? That happens to everyone. And it is normal. But to change it, you must push yourself to speak, to produce, to use the language actively. I often tell my students, reading and listening are like eating food. Speaking is like exercising. If you only eat but never exercise, you will not be healthy. The balance is the secret. Now, let us talk about something people always ask me: what does it really mean to have conversational level? Many schools, many apps, even many teachers use this phrase, but often it is not clear. For me, conversational level means this: you can sit at a cafe with a native speaker, and you can talk without stress for 1 hour. You may make mistakes. You may not know some words. But you can continue, you can react, and you can enjoy the talk. That is conversational level. My friend Olivia had this experience. She studied French for 3 years. She thought she was still a beginner. But then she visited Paris. She sat in a small cafe, ordered coffee, and the waiter started to chat. She was surprised that she could answer, ask questions, and laugh. Later she told me, "I didn't feel perfect, but I felt alive in French." That, my friends, is the spirit of real conversation. So, do not wait for perfection. Do not wait until every grammar rule is clear. If you can talk for 10 minutes today, tomorrow you can talk for 15. That is how fluency grows, not in silence, but in action. And here is some motivation for you. Every time you speak, you are building a bridge. Maybe today the bridge is short and shaky. But every word adds another piece. Soon the bridge will be strong enough to carry real conversations, real friendships, and real opportunities. Dear friends, another big question that always comes up is this: how many hours do we really need to reach levels like B1, B2, or even C1? People love numbers. We want a clear answer, like a recipe. But language is not cake. Still, we can look at some honest estimates. I once met Mia, a university student from Brazil. She was frustrated because she studied English for 2 years, but she felt stuck. She said, "I want to know exactly how many hours until I become fluent." I smiled and explained, there is no magic number, but there are patterns. Let's break it down in simple words. To reach B1, the level where you can travel, have small conversations, and manage daily life, many experts say you need around 300 to 400 hours of focused practice. Notice the word, focused. Not just listening in the background, not scrolling TikTok in English, but real attention. To reach B2, the level where you can argue, discuss, and work in the language, you may need around 600 to 800 hours. And for C1, where you can study at a university or work in a professional job, maybe 1,000 to 1,200 hours. These numbers are not perfect, but they give us a picture. Now, let's be real. Some people study 1 hour a week. Others study 2 hours every day. Who will reach their goal faster? Of course, the second person. But here is the motivation: you don't need to study 8 hours a day like military linguists. Even 30 minutes a day can add up to more than 180 hours in a year. And that is powerful. Mike, my friend from earlier, told me he studied Chinese with military discipline. 10 hours a day. Every day. In 1 year, he reached B2. But Sophia, my Italian friend, studied only 40 minutes each evening after work. It took her 3 years to reach the same level. Different speed, same result. Both paths are valid. The important thing is this: be honest about your time. If you can give 1 hour a day, wonderful. If you can only give 20 minutes, then use those 20 minutes with full focus. Because wasted time is the real enemy. Now, many people hear these numbers and feel scared. They think, 1,000 hours? That is impossible for me. But listen, my friends. Time will pass anyway. You can choose to let the days go without progress, or you can choose to collect small victories each day. Think of it like planting a tree. The best time to plant was yesterday. The second best time is today. Every word you learn is a seed. Every sentence you practice is water. Over months and years, the tree grows tall. So don't measure your success only by the finish line. Celebrate the steps on the road. Rejoice when you understand a song lyric. Smile when you manage a phone call in your target language. Clap for yourself when you finish reading a book. These are not small. These are huge. And let me give you a little secret: no one ever feels 100% ready. Even at C1, you will make mistakes. Even at C2, you will forget words. The goal is not perfection. The goal is connection. How can you measure your real progress? Not the progress in your imagination, but the truth about your skills. I remember talking with my friend Sophia, who was learning German. She felt confused because sometimes she thought her German was strong, and other times she felt like a beginner again. She asked me, "How do I know my real level?" And that question is something many of you also ask. The first way is very simple but powerful. Record yourself speaking. Take your phone, press record, and talk for 5 minutes about any topic. Maybe your weekend, maybe your plans, maybe a story from childhood. Do not stop the recording, even if you make mistakes. When you finish, listen to yourself. You will hear many things: your pronunciation, your pauses, your vocabulary. When you hear your own voice, you will see the truth more clearly than in your head. Sometimes you will be surprised, "Wow, I sound better than I thought." Other times you will say, "I repeat the same word again and again, I need new vocabulary." Both results are good, because they give you direction. Now, you can take this step even further. If you want real feedback, send your recording to a professional teacher, a translator, or even use an AI tool. Let someone analyze your speech. A good teacher will tell you not only what is wrong, but also what is strong. And that gives you motivation. The second way to measure progress is to test yourself with a native speaker. Find a language partner, maybe online, maybe in your city. Have a conversation for 15 minutes. Then ask them honestly, "Was I clear? Did you understand me? Where did I sound unnatural?" I remember Olivia did this with Italian. She was scared at first, but then she realized her partner understood her 80% of the time. That was a huge victory. Later, when her partner corrected her mistakes, she felt grateful, not ashamed. That is the spirit we all need. Friends, here is an important truth. Progress is not only in grammar tests. Progress is not only in vocabulary lists. Real progress is when another human understands you, and when you can understand them. That is language in its pure form. So I invite you, make recording your weekly ritual. Every Sunday, for example, record a short speech. Keep these recordings like a diary. After 3 months, listen to the first one again. You will hear the difference. That moment will give you more motivation than any textbook. And if you feel shy, remember, no one else has to listen, only you. But if you are brave, share it with a teacher or with a community. Many learners support each other, and that can give you even more courage. So, do not hide from the truth of your level. Face it. Accept it. Use it. Because only when you see clearly where you are, you can decide where to go next. Dear friends, now let us face another important question. People always ask me, what does it really mean to have a conversational level? We hear this phrase everywhere. But what is the truth behind it? Some learners think conversational level means being fluent. Others believe it means surviving in simple daily situations. The reality is somewhere in between. Conversational level is not about speaking perfectly. It is about being able to hold a real talk with another human being, without constant fear, without long pauses, and without always switching back to your native tongue. I remember Olivia, who studied Spanish. She asked me, "Am I conversational already?" So I said, "Let's test it." Imagine we are in Madrid. We sit in a cafe. We order food. We chat about our day. Can you do that comfortably? She smiled and said, "Yes, I can." And then I told her, "Congratulations, you have conversational level." Friends, conversational level is about connection, not perfection. It is the ability to keep the communication alive, even with mistakes. You may use simple words, but if you can express your feelings, your needs, your thoughts, then you are already successful. Mike shared a funny example with me. He said when he was learning Arabic, he only knew present tense verbs. But he still managed to have conversations with locals by saying everything in present tense. Instead of "I went to the market," he said, "I go to market yesterday." And you know what? People understood him. They laughed kindly, but the message was clear. That is conversational level. Many learners delay speaking because they think, I will wait until I reach B2. But dear friends, let me tell you the truth, conversational level often starts around A2. Even with limited grammar and vocabulary, you can still build bridges of understanding. The only thing you need is courage. So here is my advice. Do not chase perfect grammar before you speak. Start small. Learn phrases for greetings, ordering, asking simple questions. Use them every chance you get. Each small conversation builds confidence. Confidence grows into fluency. Sophia once told me something beautiful. She said, the moment I realized I could joke in English, even a simple joke, I felt free. That was the moment I knew I reached conversational level. And she was right. Humor is often the final proof that you can really interact in a new language. So, my dear listeners, I want you to remember this. Conversational level is not an exam grade. It is not a certificate. It is a living skill, a doorway into real communication. Once you step through that doorway, the world becomes bigger, friendlier, and more exciting. And the best news is this, you can reach conversational level faster than you think. All you need is practice, bravery, and a little patience. Dear friends, we have talked about real steps you can take to grow in a new language. And now, let us bring everything together. First, remember this, learning a language is not about perfection. It is about connection. Every word you speak, every sentence you create, every conversation you finish successfully, these are victories. Do not wait to feel ready. Do not wait until you know everything. Start speaking today. Second, focus on small, steady steps. 10 minutes a day, one short recording, a conversation with a friend, these small actions build real progress. Consistency beats occasional effort. Courage combined with steady practice creates unstoppable growth. Third, measure your progress honestly. Record yourself, listen, learn from mistakes, ask for feedback from a teacher or a native speaker. See the truth about your skills. Face your weaknesses, celebrate your strengths. Progress is not a number on a chart. It is real communication. It is understanding and being understood. Fourth, embrace joy. Language learning is a gift. It opens new worlds, new friendships, and new experiences. Find pleasure in every small victory. Smile at your mistakes. Celebrate when you manage a phrase or complete a conversation. Each small step brings you closer to freedom in your new language. Dear friends, I want you to remember one secret. Motivation, courage, consistency, and small wins will carry you farther than any textbook or app. If you practice regularly, speak bravely, and measure your progress honestly, you will grow faster than you think. And one day, you will look back and say, I cannot believe how far I have come. So today, I encourage you, take action. Record your voice. Talk with a friend. Try a new phrase. Make small goals and celebrate them. Every word is a brick. Every sentence is a layer of cement. Build your wall, brick by brick. And finally, I want to say thank you. Thank you for listening, for spending your time with me on Polyglot Nook. Thank you for trusting yourself and daring to learn. You are amazing. I am proud of every single one of you. If you enjoyed today's episode, do not forget to subscribe to Polyglot Nook. This way, we will continue to explore languages, share stories, and grow together. Your subscription is a small click, but it means the world for our community. So, my dear friends, I send you my warmest greetings. I hug you all, even from afar. Keep learning, keep speaking, and keep connecting. Remember, each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to mastery. Thank you again. All of you, I embrace warmly. Take care, and until next time, goodbye.